Hello everyone, it is me, MrSneakyy, and I know a lot of you are watching a load of old content on alliances, so let's update it all. Let's give you all a new refresher course on alliances, what you're going to need to know, all the basics. Stay tuned with me, MrSneakyy. Hello, so yes, we're going to be going over everything you're going to need to know about alliances today. If I do miss anything, remember, just slam a comment and I will always answer it in the comment section below. So, alliances is a little bit different, or a little bit complicated, I think, for a lot of players to wrap their heads around on what they need to be doing, right? So, I'm going to break down everything that I can for you guys so you can, read each section on its own. So we're going to start with members. So the way members work out, you have different tiers, right? So you have your leader, that's your R5. Then you have your officers that are rank 4, including myself. And then you've got everyone else, which is rank 3, 2, and 1. Basically, anyone who's an officer has some sort of responsibility within the alliance. They're maybe expected to do something, or, maintain order, because they could do different tasks, basically. But also, when you are an R4, you can also gain these little extra buffs here. Not massively broken, you can just gain some extra buffs here. But the cool thing is, when you're an R4 and you have one of these buffs, it allows you to see actually who's online. So it's a really cool feature to have. So that is like all the tiers and reasonings why, every alliance as well, guys, including your own, has its own way of running things. So I'm not going to tell you how to run your alliance. Some people run it on power, some people run it on activity, some people run it on alliance, activity and efforts and stuff. So there's loads of different ways you can run your own alliance. Just letting you know, this is how the tiers are set up, right? So when you start out with an alliance, you obviously already have 40 members, right? So with 40 members, you're wondering, how can I gain more as fast as possible? So there's a few ways you can gain members. So if we look at the question mark right here, you have the base of 40. Here we have the full alliance tech bonus, which is 60. So that gives you so far a total of 100 from both tech and your base completed, no matter what. And then to gain more, you're going to have to build your core fortress bonus. This obviously increases it by 10. And then obviously any sort of building you do, so every 10 alliance towers, shall I say, will always increase your member limit by 1. So we've got a bonus limit of 13 at the minute, since we've built around 130 flags. So just remember, when you're trying to go and get member limit, you're going to have to be building or obtaining some sort of extra goodies from that area, right? And then the final way, and the easiest way, is through Behemoths. So as you all know, guys, when you just zoom out of any of the maps right now, and you click any of these Behemoths, they give you their own member limit, and you can control multiple of these Behemoths, right? So if you really want a really big alliance, control as many multiple Behemoths as you can. But just remember, the rewards for Behemoths are tied to 1 per individual buff. So you can get obviously 1 reward for the ranged attack buff, you can get 1 reward for the melee, any sort of other buffs that are different, you can also gain rewards. So just remember that when it comes to the alliance members and rewards for them, right? So now we're going to move on to actually how to build, because a lot of people are getting confused on building and how it works, what you can do, because you can see there's some funky ones right here, as well as some normal flag building that you have to abide by. So to build flags, you obviously need resources, and to build to get resources, there's 2 main ways that you can gain them. So one of them is when we click on the Alliance Resource node. Those guys that are builders are going to get this screen, and it looks a bit complicated at first, but it's a very easy screen to actually understand. As you can see, we've got this big square here on screen, and in that area it's saying the resource nodes, there's only a low amount of gold, there's a medium amount of stone and wood. But if we look at the one where I'm at currently, we have a medium amount of gold, we have a higher amount of wood, and a medium amount of stone. Which means when you start building your flag on these zones, as you can see, they're overlapping. Your flag is generating resources on here. So if you're needing more gold or wood, you want to be hitting these nodes that show you the multiple, you know, numbers, the multiple amounts, and as long as you're in that area, you're going to be gaining that resource, right? Another way you can gain them is when you hit the alliance area, and we zoom out, we might be able to spot one in another area, is villages. So villagers here also can generate you alliance resources, and the way you can also sort these out is when you're an officer, you can hit the cogwheel at the top and you can refresh this cost, and by refreshing this cost you can either choose to keep the current effects or you can go into the next effects, right? And obviously this is going to help your alliance resources at the top, and these are all your main resources at the moment. We're not talking about the merits yet, we're going to go over that later. And as you can see, if we hit the eye icon, you can see which effects you're able to get. So you can get a load of PvE and resource types, and you can also gain a load of actual military types. So if you're trying to go to war and you need a load of war buffs, you can re-roll those villagers to help all your alliance members fight. And then as you can see, there's some bad ones, right? There's some bad ones that you can get as well, so you don't want those. So that's one of the other ways you can gain alliance resources. And the final way, and this is the final way, is through your alliance manual. So if you look and click on the manual icon and we go down, it will tell you when you're gathering from your alliance resource centers, you get a 25% extra gathering speed. Also, obviously when it's depleted, everyone goes back to their area. But more importantly is when you read Chapter 7. When an alliance resource center disappears from the map, gathered resources will be proportionally converted into a small amount of corresponding alliance resources, which is good. So if you're looking to get a load of gold, or you need a load of wood or stone, build a stone well and get everyone to farm it, and you're going to generate that extra burst of income. The thing is, tiles do not do this. So when you read tiles here, when you are farming on alliance territory, you gain that gathering speed. But when we keep going down, there is no mentioning of able to gain extra resources for your alliance. So just remember, when you're farming on alliance territory, the only benefit is gaining that 25% gathering speed increase, so you can get in and out faster, right? So that is how you can generate resources to build on your turf, right? So now I'm going to switch over to another account, and I'm going to show you the buildings that you can actually build and the requirements to actually build these buildings on your own. So here we are on my other account on Super Server 3, which is the merge servers of 7 and 10. But on here, we're going to be able to see all the alliance building requirements as well. I'm going to go over all the alliance buildings themselves. So when we go into this section, we hit territory, you can see you can build a number of stuff. Your resource centers are always built on your territorial zone. This is a really good way to inject, obviously, resources, like I said earlier. Another really good thing you can do is alliance keeps. So these alliance keeps are defensive fortifications that you can upgrade over time, and when your trooper is inside it, you get some extra boosts. So a defensive boost and attack boost for being inside, right? But again, these are only built on alliance territory. So now we come to alliance fortresses, and this is the big one where everyone needs to know everything about. So when we go onto this section, you're going to see the core fortress and then alliance fortress 1 and 2. There's a big difference between all three of these fortresses. So the core fortress here can be built only in zone 1. When we go and check any of these core fortresses out, and we go to gods, for example, when we go and read its actual info box, it has a bit of a typo error. So when we go onto here, it does say that the core fortress can be built into, here we go, only core fortresses can only be built beyond past level 2. So most people would assume reading this, it would mean anything, you know, in level 1 and level 2 zones you can build, but this is wrong. It's just wrong information that the game is going to be updated hopefully soon. But the core fortresses can be dropped anywhere on this outer ring for your alliance. So if you are in that zone, obviously you could drop it in. So for example, I'm currently in Kaltia, and if I wanted to drop one, I could drop literally anywhere here for you guys with a core fortress. So anywhere in this Kaltia area, I'm going to be able to go to. If I want to drop one in Sofrostia or Navula, I'm just going to have to teleport and make sure I'm in that region prior to it, and then I'll be able to drop it, right? So just make sure you're in the right region before you decide where you're going to drop it, and make sure obviously your city hall isn't too high, otherwise again you won't be able to teleport over. So when it comes to the Alliance Fortresses 1 and 2, the reason you use them is, again, to use them in Zone 2 and 3. So these fortresses do require you to actually be connected to some sort of territory. So like this core fortress is, you would need your Alliance Fortress 1 or 2 always connected to some territory, compared to the core fortress, which can be dropped anywhere without being connected, right? So that's what you need to remember. The core fortress is always like your starting location where you're going to be, and then your fortresses 1 and 2 are what you're going to be using to put into Hollandale, for example, or Agoru or Lorcan, any of these zone 2 areas, and then finally in Afrian is the zone 3. So when we go into those buildings though, again, we're going to see the requirements that's going to be needed. So in order to unlock your core fortress, you need 20 alliance members and 200k power. You're going to need 65 alliance members and 20 million alliance power for the AF1. And for the AF2, you're going to need the 120 alliance members and 200 alliance power cap, right? So as long as you hit those requirements, you're going to be able to build these. Like I said, these other fortresses are going to require resources, which is going to be your gold, your stone, wood, and possibly mana when you drop them. But the core fortress always requires alliance points, so just remember that when you are dropping it down, right? So that's everything you're going to realistically need to know about the fortresses. So let's quickly move on about flags, because flags are something else in a different nature, and they're a bit of a finicky one to work with. So let's move on to flags. So now we're back on the main account, and this is what is expected. So when we look at a flag, as you can see, you have to be bordering a territory like Rise of Kingdoms. So this can be anywhere as long as you can see it's touching the purple, right? But another thing you'll notice is the road length. The road length does dictate where you can build these flags, and the reason is so you can't just hop over areas like you can in Rise of Kingdoms. So you'll notice even this flag is a little bit of a hop, but the road goes from here and it goes down the ramp, it goes all the way across into this flag, and it is over exactly 15 kilometers, right? So that is showcasing almost 15 kilometers there, how much distance you can go with your roads. But that is the requirement. You must be able to build a road. So if you're trying to get across to this land, you must find some sort of area, like you can see here, where your flags can build close enough to 15 kilometers, which is that road, right? So when you're looking to build, obviously it's up to you where to build or how to build, but I hope you give yourself some now instructions, and understanding with alliance members, alliance resources, and alliance buildings. The final thing we want to talk about right now is behemoths and how to obtain them. So as an alliance, we're going to go over that. So when we come to behemoths, they're very simple. It's one of the key mechanics and events in the game. It's a really fun world boss that everyone takes part in. So as you can see, we're starting to slowly get ready for hours. That's at 12:30 UTC. And it's going to be this raid. So once you fight this raid, you have to kill it, right? So you kill it and it hits 0, and once it's zeroed, you purify it. You can check out any of my behemoth guides. It showcases all of what you need to do to kill all of the behemoths in the game. So if you go in to kill one of these and purify it, you control it. And as you can see, you control it as if you were controlling a zone territory, similar to anything like in Rise of Kingdoms. But the cool thing with your behemoths is, as an alliance now, is you're able to power them up. So you can see we have a level 2 one here, and we have a few level 1s. And so to upgrade your Behemoth from a level 1 to a level 2, you must complete the Elite Raid. So as you can see, we've completed 2 of the Elite Raids, but we've not done the others, just because we've already realistically got this reward, as well as we've not really needed them in wars. We're not needed to fight with them yet. So if you're looking to upgrade them, however, you can upgrade your Behemoths here. So every single time you kill one of these Elite Raids, so your giant bear, you're able to gain these participation rewards that I'm circling around on screen. So that'll be 400 gems, 3 60-minute speed ups, and the emblem and extra resources, right? But if you're the first alliance on the server, as well as the first participating members, so this is the 40 players that killed the Behemoth, you will also receive this reward if you kill it within the time limit. So remember, if you're on a new server and you kill the bear first and the Elite Raid the Elite Raid first, you will get the Elite Raid frame. So there we go. It was a bit of a mouth jumble, but we got it in the end. This is the same for all of the others, so you can get a load of different rewards as well as frames each season when they reset. So make sure you're able to obtain these, because obviously in season 1 and maybe season 2 might be your only opportunity to get them, since maybe in the future there might be new seasonal maps with different raid bosses on, so you might lose them, right? So it's going to be a one-time chance in the server. Remember, you can upgrade your Behemoths by killing them, as well as potentially getting that cool looking frame. So that is everything you want to need to know. Everything to do with alliance chests is pretty simple. Anytime you do a fort, anytime someone spends money, or anytime someone also claims one of the chests that you completed through the Darkling Guards here, anytime someone claims this, you also obtain an alliance chest, which increases your alliance gift level. That obviously gives you some freebies, which is nice. We've got obviously level 34. You can see currently which is our rankings on what our goodies are. Pretty nuts when you start hitting the higher levels of this. So I hope you enjoyed it. That is everything you're going to need to know with the guide on alliances. Obviously you can go into your settings and change anything on the fly, like your flag or your name and stuff like that. You can obviously promote new leaders and promote in that regards as well through the officer system. So that is everything you need to know. So you've got your members covered, how to build, how to gain resources, how to gain the Behemoths, as well as how to level them up, right? So if you need anything else in Alliance info, just smash a comment below, let me know, and I will happily answer it. But for now, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. So smash a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Call of Dragons content with me, MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator for you guys, giving you the biggest scoops and biggest advice with my knowledge that I've been covering so far, playing nearly 6 months of the game, right? So until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, and peace out.